Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hello, the invisible people. Really got to come up with a different name, haven't I? But it seems to me it still is the invisible people I'm talking to. Anyway, my name's Tim, and this is coffee time. That's what this is today. Coffee time. It's time to wake up, you know. So I had some tea with you. Now we're going to have some coffee. I'm going to try not to spill it in my bed. Because it's time to wake up. Quite literally, for me. It's a bit after 7 on the 5th of December. As ever, in the nature of my wanting to talk to you, I always kind of not wait for, but tune into the points where I get very kind of directly inspired, I suppose you'd say. Where it's not like I plan, no. It's just, it reaches a point where it kind of seems to bubble over and it's just like, oh, come on. I've said many times, I want to speak to you guys every single day. But I'm aware that I'm not prepared to speak to you every day. I don't have the feeling to. I get lost in my problems, in what I'm trying to do, achieve, and get taken away. But then I'm constantly brought back to this. And this is what raises, for me, this raises my vibration. And this is, as I'm learning, one of the most important aspects individually of this. And this is why the creative ones, the ones following their passion, the musicians, the singers, the dancers, all of those that have truly kind of devoted themselves to that creative side, this is why they stand out both now and throughout history. And this is what I want to get ever more in touch with. And I've known all along that that is it. And then it's so hard to sort of be certain, like, yeah, but do what? You know, what is my passion? What is my purpose? And at the moment, my passion is talking to invisible people. I love it. I get frustrated with you, so bear that in mind, I do. But it doesn't change the fact that I love it. I love invisible people. Go figure. Take that one to the shrink and see what he says or she. I've got to drink some coffee. I'm going to laugh and spill it. Stop. I'm going to put that down. Anyway, as you can see, I'm feeling quite good this morning. And I know the reason why. It's because over these days I have attempted once more to foster, to focus on that which brings me closer to myself, to my heart, as opposed to the things that take me away from my heart. And as I said before, there's a definite reciprocal thing going on here. That I get a lot from this because it puts me in a different vibration. And when I say vibration, I'm talking about the human being through their day, can just take one day as an example, and through their life, through a period of time. What is it that we focus on? What is it that catches our attention? What is it that we choose? And I receive a lot of guidance on these things. And I did just earlier this morning from our Good Morning Lights lady. And I got to say, you know, that it makes such sense. It is obvious. It's something that I've inherently known all my life. But to have it so simply put by people that you admire is such a help. So following our passions, following what we love, even in the smallest ways, as I've had I don't know what you call it, but as the children's desires pointed out to the children, that's what you must keep your dreams alive, keep your passions alive, always. And as adults, we lose that, or can. But we always have the ability to pick it up. And it's that, just that, even if that passion happens to be just taking a beautiful walk in the woods for a real, you know, an hour or two, actually really feeling it, if that's what it is for you, that raises your vibration, or can, unless you walk around moaning and complaining to yourself. But if you honestly tune into that nature, it raises your vibration. We become more accessible to the higher understandings, which is where the truth lies. That takes us out of our separation, of our feeling separated, feeling like it's all invisible people out there. It's those efforts at focus that we have this ability. In this world, you see it so clearly. We concentrate on work. You know, I'm building there, just tiled a little bathroom, and it's like, well, it brings me some pleasure. It does. I like tiling. So it's something I like. And of course I have to focus on it and do it and take care of it and clean it. You know, I got to do all that to make it what it is. That's obvious. We all, in this world, that's obvious. I had to concentrate to make the cup of coffee. I had to. I had to make sure there's water in the kettle. Make sure I turn it on. I mean, it's simple steps. But still, it's a process. And I'm starting to see that for me to maintain some momentum in this dream, I must do this. And I must do more. More. I want to do more of this. Because I want this reciprocal love, unconditional. I'll pledge now, I'll love all the invisible people rest of my life anyway, even if you all stay invisible. That's unconditional love. But there would be nothing better than seeing. It doesn't change the love. I'm not putting a timetable on it. But I'm pointing out very clearly again to myself, remember, I'm just talking to myself, so I'm not controlling nothing. I pledge again to myself, I ain't stopping. These things that I love, the poems that I've promised, and I got, that's another part of me maintaining this love and focus for myself, that I would find myself with that time to sit and write a poem. And for whatever reason, I found that hard for a while. But I know I will benefit from it when I do. Continuing Kids Corner. This really gets me back to my basics. That is the original dream of mine. Remember, that's the start point, to be honest. That day when I went over those handlebars, I mean, my goodness, that was all that was going through me. Like a fizzing absolute certainty that I have touched on since. But that really was a high point in my journey and a bit of a low one. I mean, crikey, I've never hit myself so hard. It was such a shock for weeks and months afterwards. When I'd remember it, my whole body would just jerk involuntarily. It was such an outrageous shock. And yet, it put an exclamation mark, not a question mark, it put an exclamation mark on my journey. Because I had never dreamt something so certain. So obviously for me, one of my key passions is I'm the children's champion. And I could not ever let that up. And so, through this, telling myself and pledging once more, I will continue that story and I will continue Kids Corner because that is my passion. And I put myself on the spot right now because I can get lazy and space things out, but this is too important. This is far, far, far too important to me. And just telling you this, I feel that clarity of purpose comes back to me. And this is what I long for all day, every day. To maintain this. I constantly hope for some sort of direct validation, direct connection with people on the same wavelength to help me to rise this story, to keep me focused. But at the end of the day, as I'm being told, it's all up to me. For me, that I must have this focus. Practice to become proficient and practice to maintain that proficiency, to remain in this service. There's nothing more important to me than this service. And yet in my daily life, it's like I still have no one to share it with. And so I share it with you. But I believe in the nature of these things. It doesn't matter how big or small that effort is. If it is done in a loving way, sincere, authentic, and knowing I've got your ears. Oh, I have. You're all winding me up. I know I have. But keep playing this invisible game. Told you I'd get you back for all this. Because you know, there's some funny things about the infinite. And one of the most basic things is it is. And it isn't. This seems to be the human position with this. And this is what can separate us a bit. Because to those coming at this story, at this existence, at this infinite, with an open heart and a raised awareness, then the infinite just is. It's absolutely unavoidable. It is. It's the source. It's all there it is. And you get blown away by that. As you should. It's a big thing. But to those without an open heart and with a closed mind and a closed awareness to these things, it very, very, very much isn't. And you can go blue in the face trying to say it is. It will make no difference. And this is where that compassion, all of us that ever have the courage to speak of these things, we must have that compassion. Because someone's essential blindness to this that's not the end of the story. In fact, that's an important part of the story. Because when eyes open, the light comes in. Doesn't ever mean light doesn't exist. And there will be eyes opening. I'm 100% certain. And through this interaction with the infinite, we have to understand many things, that put us all in perspective at times. And it's important to have that perspective. I can't talk long, I've got to go to work. But I just wanted to share with you, again, all that I ever want to share with you is genuine colour of the experiences that I have. And I've done all right the last weeks. It's almost like the days where I don't feel connected so much, I get the potential to feel such a disappointment in myself because I've had days and experiences that just blow me away. I feel so close, feel so certain, so clear, that just the slightest blurring of that vision and that focus is a part of me that can turn on myself and begin to belittle, chip away at my confidence. And I'm not having that anymore. I've had enough of that part. So it's up to me to maintain my momentum. And this morning, I just had beautiful experiences and I wanted to share that feeling with you? Oh, hey, I've been juggling again. And it's good. I've got a load of juggling work up to Christmas and some more I think I can chase. So suddenly there's a whole opportunity to do my juggling work. And I realised, why have I loved it all so much throughout my life? And it's got to be a lot to do with my inner child, because the very job is playing. It is a children's game. It's a chaotic children's game. And I know some kids here around in the Algarve that I've known them since they were 5. And then now there's one kid, Balmiru, and he's a funny kid. He always was, in Lagoa. He's way taller than me now, probably 27, 28, doing his thing. I think he's a great kid. And I've known him since he was so young. And there's a lot of kids I've known for so many years that I sort of got into juggling. And one of them might be employing me over this Christmas. He's basically, we did parties for him when he was like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all his mates. And he's a very wealthy young man. And he's basically, as he grew up, he decided that circus and juggling and everything was going to be his thing. I'm sure his parents were slightly disappointed. Hopefully they got over it, because he's going for it. And he's going to be employing me if I'm lucky. He's gone and bought himself a circus tent, and he's putting together a big thing. And it's like, my goodness, I'm going to be employed by kids that I've known since I was 5. And I can't help seeing a great synchronicity in that. And the fact that I might have helped keep a few people's inner childs alive, to keep a dream without even realising it. So that's good. So I just wanted to share with you the fact I did some juggling, and it's quite good fun. Done a couple over this last weekend in Lagos, and got more going right through to Christmas at the weekends. And I just get a buzz from it. I just do. And what else do I want to share with you? Hope. Promise. What we're stepping into. It's so important to have an awareness of the invisible, the unseen energy going on around, that we are a part of. And it's just lovely. And I ain't giving up. No chance. No, I won't put my wild bird on the spot. And I so hope I haven't blown it by putting you on the spot the other day. I can't help worrying a bit. These declarations can be perhaps very off-putting to the female psyche. I'm not sure. I might be the women's champion and everything, but I'm struggle at times with understanding is all, because I'm a guy, and we inherently have a bit of a problem with that, it would seem. But that doesn't stop me messing around. I think that's a sort of safer territory. So I just hope my wild bird's well, and I better not. I ain't digging myself in no deeper nowhere. I understand, all along I've kind of hoped, prayed, dreamed about you swooping in and rescuing me. And it's like, goodness me, what a fantasy. Still kind of got that. You've got your wings sorted yet. Rescue me anytime. But it would seem that's not how this game unfolds. Because for a start, it's supposed to be the other way round, isn't it? The knight in shining armour. There's not many stories a bit the other way. So that might have been one of my little misunderstandings. And that the truth is as ever us individually finding ourselves, knowing ourselves, growing in these invisible ways and all of this, and coming to a point where we stand on our own 2 feet. And I've had that pointed out, and it's really annoying, but I've had it pointed out. I must stand on my own 2 feet, of course, and I always knew that. I've just been hopping around, I guess. But I find myself more and more on my own 2 feet, and I'm not saying nothing, other than understanding that of course I must be strong on my own. And so I am. I'm having double coffees to make me extra strong. And I'm getting my stuff together, I'm juggling and stuff. I hold out hope every day for a breakthrough. And yet, in a way, I'm just understanding how it's like, it's up to me to raise my vibration so that I am in the realm of breakthroughs, that help that I'm always longing for comes to me. I have experienced it so many times. It comes to me within. And if my vibration's low, I'm not in that realm. And so I don't receive that help. Doesn't mean it's not there. But I don't receive it properly. I am not receiving. So then when I do receive, I get a boost. And I got a boost this morning. And I can't go into details because I'll get in trouble. I'm not supposed to talk about. So, but I can share a bit of the energy it gives me, and it gives me hope, it gives me certainty. And it puts me back in my story. Because I must put myself back together. And I get so hopeful that I'm going to see someone. It doesn't happen, and I start to panic. It's going to be another year, another 10, or I've already failed. And yet even that, to this understanding, does not matter. Because that's all just my mind. It's my ego. That's the thing that's telling me I'm separated. And there's something in me that knows that not only am I not separated, I am joined in an eternal, timeless connection with essentially all of you. And that is the end of this separation. That I am capable of experiencing that. So what else do I want to experience? Many things, including talking to you now, bring me closer to that understanding. So why would I want to do anything else? I want my life to point me to this understanding. And I always have. Always have. I remember reading Autobiography of a Yogi, fantastic book, Paramahansa Yogananda. Incredible story, incredible book. Now, I like to keep this approach very simple, right? Simple. And in there's certain things that could take, some people will freak out about, but that's irrelevant. That book I read when I was about sort of 15 and got absolutely blown away with it. And I remember realizing, through those years, at 15, 16, 17, about 17, I remember I left college after 1 year, kind of messed it up. My granddad came over because he was really annoyed at me because I'd left college and then hadn't let them know. And one way or another, they hadn't known I'd dropped out for a few months. And then my dad was talking to him separately and let it slip. And so I got my granddad coming over one day, really angry with me. It was like about the only time he'd ever done it, ever. He was such a beautiful man. And he came over and, it really, for me, it hit hard. I felt really bad how I sort of played it with them. And he was clearly really angry, and we kind of had this bit of a confrontation, and him asking me what I wanted to do, goodness me. And here I am, 17, hair down here on a different path. But the culmination and it did shut him up. Must have sounded odd. But the culmination was me just saying, I just want to realize God. Now, that came from a completely sincere part of me back then. So this is no new story for me. And I want to continue this with you. I want to keep talking to my invisible friends because I can. And keeping it light, keeping it fun. But also letting you know, someone's going to have the bottle to talk to me, surely. I mean, you're going to feel like everywhere I go, you'll turn your backs. Difficult to maintain my confidence like that, isn't it? So I'm sure it wouldn't hurt now. Have a bit of interaction. But I won't mess around with that. Anyway, I think I need to go and get myself together and go to work. Still working in Silves, it's great. And all of that. But at least today I can feel like I re-pledged my focus to this. Took another step with my invisible friends. And set the tone for my day. Realizing that is the vibration that I want. And that continued effort is how I raise and attempt to maintain it. And I guess I'd need this outlet occasionally. Doing it just alone, I end up worrying you're just going to forget me and think I've just disappeared or failed you. And that is not the case, because I ain't giving up. And I want us all to not give up. I want us to step into that vibration of unconditional love. That's the language. It's the language of this universe, and it's the language of this human heart. And it outshines everything. Just one touch. It's enough. Till the next day. Till the next moment. So I can spend these minutes with you. Coffee time, remember, it's wake up time. We need to wake up here. En masse. This has got to happen. And there's another thing pointed out to me, why I must not have a go at anyone. It's because that we are all, regardless of what we're doing, even the atrocities, apparently, which does my head in, even the atrocities are source expressing itself. And I can take that on everything I can, and I have real trouble taking that on atrocities or war. Because to me, it seems to me like war's a man thing. It's a mind thing. Does the source use it to get our attention and move the other way, perhaps? I'm not sure. But I have real trouble just going, oh yeah, I've got to be nice to everyone, including the ones I think are doing awful things. But then, of course, unconditional love is just that. So I mustn't have a go at anyone. Leave it to surrender. I'm fairly certain that there's enough people which their hearts are completely aligned with this, that will have the real ability to lift us above that darker stuff. And that's how we can step past that darkness, is through our combined light. That in a way, we can work through their hearts. That even those in the midst of atrocities have a heart. And that is the only thing that's going to change what they are manifesting and doing. Not me, not anyone else. So I have to have a trust, not have a go at anyone. I was thinking, instead of having a go then, and here's perhaps a thing to all future leaders, champions, you want to be a leader in any way, you need a sense of humour, a good moral compass, and you have to be able to play ping pong. I'm starting to like the idea that all leaders have to be able to play ping pong. So present leaders might be one you want to start brushing up on, because, and I need to, but I used to be a bit hot at ping pong. Get my top spin back on, get it going again, I think. And I'll take you at ping pong. I won't judge you, I'll ping pong you. maybe we'll leave that to later. Thinking of opening like Ping Pong Palace. Get it on with a bit of ping pong. Got to have ping pong and a sense of humour to run countries, I reckon, because you're not doing very well. Don't have senses of humour, and I'm pretty sure you can't play ping pong. So perhaps that'll sort it out in the future, huh, champions? Yeah. Anyway, I better stop before I say progressively sillier things, because I can, and I honestly, it would seem that my inner child likes to just mess around, and I don't think I'm going to change. I'm not going to get serious. Might get a bit simpler at times. That would be a good idea. But I don't think I'm getting serious. So I just want to leave you all with a sort of hello. Have a lovely 5th of December. Coming up to Christmas. Now, last year we did Furry Friend Christmas. Remember, it was the animals. Now that stands. We stick with that Furry Friend Christmas again. So get ready with those dog treats, cat treats, fish treats, turtle treats, whatever it is. Not just furry, remember. I mean, we've got a lot of other creatures without fur that might be feeling left out. So, furry friend, animal friend Christmas. And the kids. It always is about the kids. But let's make it properly about the kids. And for that, here I go again. I'm going to promise you Kids Corner for Christmas with more of the story. So I've got to get myself together, guys, and write a bit more of the story so we can have a little bit of fun there. So furry friends and kids this Christmas. And let it be that. You know, let the kids hold their dreams. We have the power to help them because we've seen our own dreams be dashed, forgotten, all the rest of it as adults. We've seen the very process of stepping away from our passions and dreams. We've done it. Now we're trying to walk back to that. We can help them hold that. And I know that is vitally important to a human's life. That those that keep their passions from childhood and keep that dreamer alive have a richer inner tapestry, a simpler connection to something bigger, eternal, uplifting. So we can help them with that. And I want to try. I've got to get myself on the ball with that. But luckily my juggling and how I'm doing lately, I think I can pull that one out of the bag. And if I can pull that one out of the bag, then I must be able to pull out a wild bird poem as well. And I guess it's getting cold again, isn't it, wild bird? So that blanket of love I gave you last year, I assume you haven't spaced it out. I assume that you still got it. And good. I want you to stay warm and cozy, as I am now, actually. And I want you to all to know that love is real, an invisible love, a real love. Not to be confused with this interpersonal things that are a bit complicated. It's a deeper thing that we'll share. I'll see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.